So, we are in the extended session of El Quarantino, and Scout Parts finally came in the mail. I'm excited. It's all good in the hood here. So, last video I talked more about this and where I was at, what I was doing. However, in the beginning of the video, I said that I was going to talk about everything about this vehicle that I did not talk about this vehicle in the actual video. So, that's not going to be in today's video either. I have a couple new things today. Today's going to be a shorter video. Last video was like 10 minutes long, so we're going to chop that stuff up a little bit more because this is kind of like a keep content going sort of dealio. So currently we let me go on the other side because I can't think. So currently we are in the middle of doing electrical. None of these gauges work except for my amp meter. Speedometer somewhat works, but we're gonna claim that it works because that there is $300 to replace off of scoutparts.com. Great website though. Yeah. Fuel gauge does not work, and neither does this one over here. So I did not get a new gauge. What we thought it was, my dad and I, when I say we, is a voltage regulator that sits on the back of this here circuit board. And I'll show it to you here in a second. But what I did end up doing is tearing out a lot of unneeded wiring. So it's basically just a rat's nest up in here. You think your girl's morning hair was bad? Come do a project that's from 1980 or before. Electrical is horrid. So everything that is up underneath here is back to the stock way. Somebody had at one point hold on, get you turned around here. I don't know if you can see it, but right here, there's just a little bit of a outstep on the B pillar, I think it's called, the A pillar, whatever the heck call it. Somebody had on a police interceptor, the lights that sit there and swivel, somebody had one of those bad boys mounted right here. So there was a whole bunch of wiring up underneath here. They had unneeded fuses. This is a ground that I still have no idea what it grounds, but once again, you figure it out. So yeah, basically just testing the voltage on a lot of things. This here is, my dad's an electrician, so I know what I'm doing. We're gonna call it on that. Just doing a lot of electrical, which brings me to my next point. So, why did you close? Whatever. Wow, okay, cool. So, this here is the old gauge that was not working. Normally there's a voltage regulator sitting right here. Well, while we were testing things, one prong hit the other prong, and well, it did a little damage on this here circuit board. So this is a circuit board. For you guys that don't understand it, it sits on the back of the gauge here, and it creates electrical current through the back of this, which goes through these bolts, which powers these on the front here. This is your main plug right here. You can see that it sticks out like that, kind of like a bunch of nipples. And there's a female part that goes on the end of this, and that's what powers it. That's where the sending units come in. That's where everything, I mean the lights, and then also it circuits to the rest of all the other dash gauges and panels and everything else. It's very weird how this thing is wired, and Scouts are apparently grounded throughout the entire dash. I can take my little tester, my light tester, and I can put it on the dash and it's grounded. So this right here is no bueno because it frayed off. So and it did its job, so that's good. Nothing caught on fire. It just smokied and burnt that up. So that is useless. However, we're gonna keep it because I'm not gonna throw any of this away because Scout stuff is expensive. So this little feller came in the mail today. This is the newer one, and this is what it's supposed to look like on the back. As you can see, there's a slight difference. I'm gonna let you figure that one out, okay? This is the voltage regulator. This, things are backwards on cameras. That is this little thing. This little guy turns the 12-volt system that comes from the battery. This is a very, very factual, and if you don't understand vehicles, it's gonna be hard to follow along. So get with me on this, okay? Your battery has wires on it. And we're just gonna say that the wires from the battery carry the 12 volts that the battery makes, that the battery has in it, and it carries those straight to this. I'm just gonna put it simple, okay? There's fuses in between that keep it from blowing up, but this takes the 12 volts that comes from the battery and it reduces the 12 volts. So you got a load that comes through this big, right?
That's what she said. Michael.
Okay, you got a load that comes through, and then it reduces it down to 5 volts, so it doesn't fry this stuff. We think this is bad because once we made contact with this one mounted on the back of this one, it fried this circuit board because this circuit board is only meant for 5 volts. So the hope is that either this one works or the $50 part that I bought off scoutpartsonly.com, they ought to sponsor me for this video, I tell you what. I'm kidding. This thing, if it works, that's gonna be great. I'll probably still end up replacing it once that part comes in, just because it claims it'll outlast my Scout and me. I don't think they understand that I'm a 19-year-old kid with a Scout. Most of the time it's 85-year-old dudes that are collecting their Scouts, or middle-aged guys that are making rock crawlers. These things are known to be rock crawlers, but beside the point. So hopefully this thing works. This circuit board back here is working, and that way I can, there's really not that much difference between them. If I wanted to use, I might just keep this one fully intact and see if it will work. It was only 75 bucks off eBay, so we'll see if this fellow works. If not, then we're gonna start donating parts off of this gauge onto this. And it might just be this voltage regulator is bad. That's a very common thing with them. So, what else? Ooh, another part. What is this? Ooh, yeah. So, for a lot of the newer vehicles today, they have the automatic light switches. Well, they don't have that in these here vehicles, so I'm gonna show you. Okay, cool. So, normally, you'd be driving your vehicle, right? And it starts to get dark outside, right? You're sitting there, oh my goodness, do not look at that. Okay, you're sitting there, you're cruising along, right? And it's nice and, still got the horn, heck yeah. And it's nice and sunny out, and then it starts to get dark. Well, what do? You flip on your lights. Normally, it does it automatically. On the older vehicles, it's a pull switch. Ready?
Wow. 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 Wow.
Wow. Said it enough. Okay, you get it out, and you push it in. For you to dim your lights, you turn it this way to this way. Not those lights, but the lights that would normally be lighting up in here along these, so you can read them. Also lights up underneath here. I do have most of these light bulbs out because they were bad, so we're working on that. However, on the back side of this guy, I don't know if I can find the button. Anyway, this thing will have a button that you push underneath, and then this new one sits like this, sits on the back. And what it does is there's coils in there, and it just does this electrical thing, and you twist it and it dims the lights or it brightens them, and it's yeah, it's pretty simple. Basically just gotta whoop, pop that out. So you can see it sitting, turning right back there, that little piece moving right back. I wonder if I can get my phone back here. Oh, well that's neat. That little piece moving right there, that is this piece right here. So we just got to do a quick little transplant there, and yeah. So let's see if I can do it right here, like this. That worked pretty good. So this is the old one. That worked pretty good for you guys, at least. For me, it was a little bit nastier of a project. You bust your knuckles up. For my fellow mechanical people, you will understand that nothing in this world, nothing is more sharp than crookedly cut zip tie ends. You know, when they group the wires together and they snip off the plier, yeah, and it's at an angle. sharper than a freaking knife. So, in there we have the brand spanking new one. Hopefully, if I put this here plug, it's got, nope. Supposedly, you just give her a good push. No way. So it did not do that before. None of those lights. Oh, no way. These did not work before, guys. So this is absolutely awesome for me. So you'll notice that turning. Yeah, so don't mean to be a party pooper, guys, but I basically geek out this entire part. I sit there and I freak out about how cool the electricity is, and I'm explaining how it works and all whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and skip past this, cause yeah, it's hex to the frickin' yeah. Well, that's just pretty frickin' awesome. That's what that is. So, heck yeah. All right, well, that's fixed. Now we can try and see if our gauge here is gonna work. So, see if the guy who sold this thing was telling the truth, saying that it did work, or yeah, find out. If anything, so I did not buy this for, okay, as I was saying, I did not buy this unit right here for the actual gauge itself. I bought this unit here for this circuit board right here, because this one, hold on, get out from underneath there. This one does not work when it's got a little sizzle frizzle right there. So this is, okay, this is a very confusing part. So we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna skip past all of it. And since we're at 17 minutes in the video so far, trying to make it a little bit shorter here. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip to the part where electrics are no longer in the video, and we're gonna go to me adjusting a door. Cool. I close this door here. It closes. On the other side, it wasn't doing that. And this door was no bueno. And I mean muy no bueno. I mean, listen to the clean close that it has now. Clean close. Sorry, had something there. If I close this, that's just minty. So, and notice the body line. Hold on. Yeah. That's clean. That's really clean. So, my hand was in the way in that shot. I know it was. And now there's a light that's blinding the camera. Hey, would you looky there? So, what I did is, this would not do that before. It would not close that like that nice before. It would come in to right about here, and it would sit right about there. That's where it sat, and it would rattle going down the road, and it just wasn't good. Hold on, let me show you. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, about to sprain my wrist to show you this. All right, angles. Yeah, that fella right there. This pin, okay, this pin is what this feller latches onto. Funny, right? So, one click is all it was getting. I needed it to go a whole nother click to close properly. And when I released it, it would not snap back. It was more of a, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Hold on. Aha, reach. So it was more of a slowly release up to, I'm not flipping you off, up to that point. And it just wasn't good. So you do what's best, and you get the Rednex cologne out, and you put some PB Blaster on there. It smells great. Get you a girl on your first date, that's for sure. And that just locks I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's pretty simple. 1, 2, gotta goo. So now it closes very nice. However, I had to do some adjusting because there was sag in the door. Now, hold on. Okay, now that we got this figured out. All right. Ha. So, there was sag in the door. Now, if any of you don't know what sag is, that means that the door sits a little bit lower than where it should. So, you would pull it out in this line right here. Notice how it stays flush all the way through, how it's flat. It's flush right here. This is called flat flush. It would drop down. This door would drop down to right about here. So this would be right about down here, and it would swing out here, and it'd just be sagging. So you don't want that. So to fix that, you come up here on the main mounts. These 2 bolts for the top part of the door, these 2 bolts for the bottom part of the door, and you adjust those accordingly to be in or back out this way. Same thing down here, back out or back in this way, to get the door to settle this way or that way, this way or that way. So how I basically did it was a good way and a sketchy way. I got the floor jack out here, this guy, and I basically kind of put the floor jack up underneath the door, cranked it up a little bit, got lucky, tightened down the bolts, and it closed the right way the first time. So, being lucky on that, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else you guys would want to see. I mean, ooh, I know what I can do.
As you go down, it gets nice and smoother. Take it down to the bottom when there's not much of a crack at all.
So, we're gonna go ahead and fix that. In advance, to people that watch this for content and my jokes, I'm sorry. There's not much to joke about right now. I'm simply just getting this stuff figured out, and it's just basically low maintenance. I mean, there's not much for me to give. So, we're gonna go ahead and see if we can do this. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do a time lapse and see if I can get this door setting up straight. I should have stuck with the motto of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I fixed it, and I wanted to make it better, and now it's back to being broke again. So, I'm going to put you back on to time-lapse and keep on going. Okay, so what we have here so far is me not knowing what is best. Okay, so I have it back to its original before I said, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. We've got the gal all level again. So that's a big old positive in my book. However, we still have that nasty gap in the front. And what time is it? Oh, it's dark out. Okay, cool. I'm still gonna keep working. So, it's basically, there's a couple different mounts here. So there's these mounts that are inside the door that I we are currently in the discovery process. Found out that the squeaking part was actually this rubber lining right here, and as the window goes up, it just sits there and it goes squeak. So, I put some spray away on there, glass cleaner. My grandpa swears by it. Stuff is good, I'll tell you what. But there's not much that I can do. So this is going to have that back on it right about now. Perfect, just like that. Alrighty, so this is on, that's a mess. Need to take care of that, need to take care of that. That's a mess, need to wind that back up. For the most part, we are right back to where not where I started, but where I started before this video because the whole confusion thing. A little bit dirty, but no worries. So once again, I mean, I've got it nice and just a clean close. That's just, Okie dokie. So that is like that. I'm gonna just settle the differences and say I'm okay with a little bit of stick out. I mean, you know, my buddy Dylan told me about this, and it's been the wisest thing I've ever heard when working on vehicles. It's called can't see. And you wonder why it's called can't see? Because you can't see it when you're sitting in the vehicle. So, therefore, doesn't matter. So, continuing on, you know, I think it's time to possibly call her quits for this video. So, yeah, so basically just getting some things done here and there, and there's not much to tell you. I mean, you see me struggling, so I hope that's enjoyable for you guys. Sorry again for the long video, but I just hit play and doodle it up. So next time I see you guys, it might have electrical. I will definitely have parts in the mail. That voltage regulator that's coming from scoutparts.com. That'll be here, so then I'll be able to do that and see if my dash gauges are actually gonna work. So, I'm gonna head on out. It's lunchtime, actually it's dinner time because it's dark out. So, yeah. Peace out. See you guys later.